Northern Monk and Brewdog, the Vermont sessions.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Got a quite special one here today. This is a collaboration between the Northern Monk Brewery, based up in Leeds, in Yorkshire, and the Brewdog Brewery, which is based in Scotland. And this is their take on a session New England IPA. Now, the whole history of New England IPA, you can trace it back to Vermont, and it's the Alchemist Brewery in Vermont, which brews the Heady Topper. Now that is probably the beer that kicked off the New England IPA style. It's an absolutely amazing beer. I missed out on trying some, and it's hard to get hold of as well. And I missed out on trying some of their Heady Topper, which is it's their flagship beer, arguably the most famous one that they do. It's so hard to get hold of, and it's even limited to people buying it over in Vermont as well. And I did get to try one of their luscious stouts, which was really good. And my mate got a can of Heady Topper, and I would have gladly tried the Heady Topper over the stout. The stout was amazing. Anyway, I'm digressing a bit here, but as I say, that Heady Topper is the archetypal beer that spawned the New England IPA style. So a New England IPA style is usually cloudy, high in alcohol, very fruity, very easy to drink. And this seems to have all of these in this can. Although it's 5.2, that might sound strong for a session beer, but you're normally looking at 7.5, between 6 and 7 and 8 even on a New England IPA. They're pretty strong on the old alcohol stakes. But let's see what's going on here. Well, as I say, this is a collaboration between the Brewdog and the Northern Monk Brewery. They say this is a 5.2 New England style IPA, or a session New England IPA. The can is, I think, 500. Oh, it's 400ml can, so not quite a pint in that. There's the front of the can. There is the back of the can. Loads of gum from the side of it. What does it say here? It says store cold, yeah, drink fresh, yeah, this has been in the fridge, this is cold. The Vermont sessions, Northern England and Northern Scotland unite for this New England IPA, a transatlantic juice bomb of flavour. Pours as bright and hazy as a Vermont morning with massive fruit aromas. Sweet and juicy, a taste with notes of tropical fruit, big pineapple, stone fruit and a dash of coconut. Brewed with oats and wheat and left unfiltered for a smoother finish. The Vermont sessions, the opaque state. Yeah, what it's describing on the can is everything you would expect from a New England IPA. Let's get it open and let's see what we're getting out of it. The aroma out of the can. Oh, lovely. Big grapefruit, pineapple, mango, passion fruit, and a hint of bitterness on that. And there's a very, very, very slight oniony flavour on it, which sort of denounce fresh hops. Now this is a collaboration, and I've heard it's been specially brewed for Morrison's, and this is where I got it. This was £3. So let's get it into the can. Let's get it out the can into the glass. Now that actually looks like grapefruit juice. And there is a fair bit of carbonation in that. This is a 440ml glass. I don't know whether I'm going to get all that into the can, so I'll leave a bit in there. There it is. It looks amazing. Very hazy. 2-finger white foamy head. Fair bit of carbonation on the nose. Oh yeah, just everything I just described, with some sweetness added to it now as well. Potentially coming from the oats in this, but it smells really good. Let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. First of all, you're hit with some bitterness, some grapefruit bitterness. Then milliseconds afterwards, you get all the sweetness from the fruit. All the, like they say, the stone fruit, like the peach, the passion fruit, the mango. It is a real fruit bomb. But then you got bitterness on the back end as well. So it's going back to the grapefruit bitterness that you'd expect from an East Coast IPA. They do differ from West Coast IPAs. West Coast IPAs I find are much harsher on the bitterness, but the East Coast tend to have more fruit. And this has got fruit in abundance. But it's not overbearingly sweet. I've tasted some quite good New England IPAs, and you do get that sweet fruit, and that sweet fruit sort of overrides the initial bitterness, and you end up with a sweet sort of mouthfeel, a sweet sort of finish on it as well. You don't get it on this, which I think is more true to the New England IPA style. As I say, the heady topper is the sort of the beer that spawned a genre, if you like. And there's rumours going around that some brewers buy heady topper and they pick out the floating yeast in there and they try and grow their own yeast, very similar to the yeast that goes in the heady topper. They never get it right because obviously that's been filtered, well, not been filtered, but it's been through a few boils and everything, and they never get it quite right. But on its own strength, this is really good. There's big flavour on this, and I really like it. I want to emphasise though the bitterness that's on this. There's grapefruit bitterness running all the way through it, and they don't list the hops, which is a bit of a pain in the arse really, because I'd love to know what hops they're using on that, but no, they don't mention it unfortunately. But one thing I will say, Northern Monk are a fantastic brewery. Some of the stuff they've created, and I've reviewed it on my channel, is absolutely amazing. I really do like their stuff, and I've got some more downstairs. I went to Morrison's today and they had a load of their stuff in there, but when I saw this collaboration with Brewdog, I thought I've got to have that, and that was one of the first ones I picked up, and I am not regretting it at all. It was £3, but as I say, I never begrudge paying good money for good beer, and this is really good. Really liking this. If you imagine that's grapefruit juice, that's more or less what you're getting, but with some fruity, sweet hints in that as well, and it's lovely, and I really like that. So what's the verdict? Well, as New Englands go, this is a really good one. I really like the grapefruit bitterness that's running through this, but I also like the sweet notes that you get through there. I'm not getting the coconut that they talk about, but that's by the by. These are two really good breweries, and they've come up with a winner here. And I think this is just brewed from Morrison's. So if you want this, get your ass down there quickly, because this was selling out. Even with this coronavirus nonsense, people were snapping this up, and there was only a few left. I don't know whether it's a limited edition or not, but I'd like to think it isn't, because if it's not, I would be buying this quite regularly. I really do like this stuff. So what would I give a New England IPA brewed by Northern Monk and Brewdog? For me, that is a 10 out of 10. That is just superb. It's everything I would expect from a New England. And it will be a shame if it's just been brewed for Morrison's, because this needs to get out in the world. Everybody needs to taste this. It's a really good one, and I wouldn't expect anything from Northern Monk. I wouldn't expect anything else, less, should I say, from Northern Monk. Northern Monk really do know their stuff. And I'd imagine Brewdog can be a bit hit and miss. And I imagine they've probably pulled Brewdog into line saying, you know, we want this, we want that, let's do it. And they've had their input, which is great. I think Brewdog are at their best when they're doing collaborations. They've done one with Cloudwater, which was really good. I never reviewed that, unfortunately. And they did one with, I think it's Evil Twin, and that was really good as well. They're two really good breweries though. So I think this is where Brewdog are at their strength, is when they're doing the collaborations. This is a 10 out of 10. I urge you to go to Morrison's and get one. This is what a New England, to me, should taste like. Fruity, with some bitterness, high in alcohol. It's 5.2, so it's a session, you know, New England IPA. But it's so refreshing, full of fruit, just amazing. Get it while it's there, because this, I imagine this is going to be gone soon. So yeah, 10 out of 10, definitely recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.